Hello, I'm coming into today to be able to talk about 2-point perspective and making your letters with 2-point perspective. This is kind of what it's going to end up at the end, and I'm going to use the word possible to be able to make this piece. So first things first is we have a 9 by 18 sheet of paper. We're going to cut this in half both ways. So if it's 18 divided by 2, it's going to be 9. So you're going to make a mark at the 9-inch in the top and the bottom, okay? I always have this where people are like, I can make a straight line. I can't make a straight line without this, okay? Also, you notice I'm using a Sharpie. I want you to use pencil for this. I'm just using a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then we're gonna go over here, and then half of 9 is 4.5, so we're gonna make a mark at 4.5. We're gonna do that in the middle because our ruler is not 18 inches long. 4.5. Then over here, we're gonna do 4.5. Okay. Then we're gonna make our horizon line. This is our horizon line going across our paper. So you got 2 vanishing points with 2-point perspective, and they're gonna be over here at these corners, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is connect the vanishing points at the end to the top of each one of these sections. So we're basically making like a huge diamond. Keep going this way. Okay, next you're gonna section off the different parts so that you can be able to do your letters. Now, whenever you have letters, they are going to be big whenever you see them up front, and then they're gonna get small as they go back into space. That's how you're gonna make the perspective. So what you're gonna do is take your ruler and you're gonna take 2 inches to begin with, and then 1.5, an inch, and then a 1/2 inch. So on each side, you're gonna measure 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 1 inch, and a 1/2 inch. So same thing on the other side, 2 inches, 1.5 inches, inch and a 1/2. So I'm always cutting it in by 1/2 inch. So this is really what you need to remember. This is the hardest thing to remember is the numbers. 2 inches, 1.5, 1.5. Then you're gonna make vertical lines on these. Notice that I made these sections on both sides of my paper. I can't even draw a straight line. I do not expect you to, so make sure that you are going ahead and doing your marks this way. And like I said, I want you to do this all in pencil because you're gonna have to erase it. I'm just doing it in permanent marker so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there are your sections. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this other sheet of paper that I pre-prepared with orange. There's all your lines for this. And I pre-prepared this one with orange so I can show you how to be able to do this with your letters. So if I have the word possible, you just need a word that is going to be 8 letters long. That's the most you can do is 8 letters long. So possible spelled like this, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's perfect. So I know I can split this down the middle, 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. If you have something that has like several letters, like my name, there's going to be 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and the L is going to be in the middle. That means that your L, if I was doing my name, is going to be this whole size, okay? So that's something to think about. If you have an odd number and it's less than 8, that's what you want to think about. If you need me to come over and show you how to do that, I can definitely do that, okay? But we're going to start out with possible, and we're going to start off with the letter S. So doing it in the middle, writing it out really does help, because then you're able to like know which letters go where. Otherwise you'll probably forget spelling. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could go wrong with that. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my S, and I'm doing block letters. It seems to be easiest to do this assignment in block letters, so don't be afraid to do that. I am actually also lining them up perpendicular to this top section. This is the hardest part, I think, is getting the letters down and getting them going back into space the correct way. So if I have this S right here, it's gonna go to this side, but the 3D sections are gonna go to the other side. So think about it like it's an opposite. Okay, I'm gonna make these go back into space, lining it up with the vanishing point each time. That one's gonna be straight, and then this one's gonna be slanted down here. Making sure that I am thinking about making these lines parallel to this other one. Like I said, that's usually the hardest part. That one's right on the line, so you won't have to worry about that. But this one is gonna go back into space. And then you gotta think about how thick you want your letters to be, because this is gonna end up being part of this square as well. So I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. Okay. Make it parallel to this line down here. So that means I'd have to erase this little section. Okay, so there's my S. Now I'm gonna make my I, because my I is the next thing right here, next to possible. So now I'm just gonna draw in my eye. Don't be afraid to use your ruler. Like I said, I can't hardly make a straight line. These are gonna be a little wonky, but I'm gonna do it fast so that you guys can see what I mean. So this is me doing it fast. Okay, there's my eye. Now I'm going to make my corner pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna make these sections go back into space. But this side, I see I almost did it, this side's gonna go back into this corner in space. So instead of making it go back this way, I'm gonna have it go the opposite direction. That's what I wanted to show you. And I'm gonna cut my eye off right here, making it parallel. In fact, I need to make this section right here, that line I would erase, but since I'm using a permanent marker, this is what it is. Okay, so now you can kind of see those two letters, and you're gonna make your other ones go back into space. And the reason why we did section is because then you could see, okay, my E is gonna be this big, and my L is gonna be this big, my B is gonna be this big. So those sections help you see, okay, I have this much space for each letter, okay? So that's what you need to think about whenever you're working on your piece. Make sure you're thinking about how 3D it's gonna look, each one of your letters. Once you get to this, notice that this is shorter. You can cut off the edges, and you're gonna fill in your word with color, do all kinds of patterns and colors, and then a background. Make it kind of surrealism, meaning that it's gonna be funky and weird. So the weirder it looks, the better off it is, okay? So don't be afraid to do all that. Let me know if you got any questions, and that's it.